Jayden Baugh has the vision, the downhill power, and the mental processing to be the first running back selected in the 27 NFL draft.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I'm Damian Parson, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Join all the action at FanDuel.com to play daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer this season. Today's episode is all about Jayden Baugh, the 6'1", 225-pound running back for the Florida Gators, and why he has a really strong shot and a really strong case to be the first running back selected in the 2027 NFL Draft. I'm going to explain my grade, go over the concerns about his game, but as always, we start off with the pros, with the good things. And as I just said, 6'1", 225 pounds. Last year for the Florida Gators offense, Jayden Baugh was their best offensive player. 220 carries on the ground, ran for 1,170 yards by himself, 1,170-yard rusher, 8 touchdowns. This young man also added 33 receptions for 210 receiving yards. So he showcased the ability to be a potential three-down back in the NFL. Jayden Baugh, to me, has star potential. When I look at his game, I see a player that is NFL ready from a build and frame standpoint. He's got a powerful frame, talking about strong upper and lower body. He knows how to convert speed to power. I always talk about that. We hear that with edge rushers, right? And defensive linemen. Can you get off the ball quickly and convert that quickness into power, right? But it's the same thing for running backs, right? Like if you hit the hole quickly or with acceleration and burst, when that defender feels it, right? You're talking about short yardage situations, red zone, goal line. Can you convert speed to power and sometimes create something that's not there, right? Can you, I forget the Marvel character. It's got the helmet. He puts his head down and run through the wall. I can't remember his name. But I'm gonna Google it because it's bothering me. But can you do that? Can you run through a brick wall and create your own with speed to power conversion? And the answer is yes when you're talking about Jayden Baugh. He's got really good vision. I love his vision and his patience combined with the quick post-snap processing. With Jayden Baugh, he sees and anticipates lanes opening before they're opened, right? He reads the blocks, and he's so good about that patience. And I got a comp for you guys a little bit later I think you're going to be excited about. But his patience and his ability to buy time and not for my everydayers. When we hear me talk about running backs, I always use the phrase slow to fast through. Slow to fast through. For running backs, you don't want to outrun your blocks. You don't want to overrun your blocks. So you allow your offensive line time to set up and literally create the running lanes for you, right? Juggernaut, that's the name, Juggernaut. So yeah, so go back to my Marvel comp a little bit early. Juggernaut. Can you be like Juggernaut? Speed to power conversion, run through that brick wall. Yeah, I told you it was bothering me. I had to get that out of the way. But yes, he's very good about being a patient runner, buying time to allow his offensive line, his blockers, to, whether it's a duo situation where he's reading that middle linebacker, letting that guard, gallop technique or duo and climb, and he understands, I see the angle he's going. If he attaches or he gets there, I'm going to cut right off of here. He's so good about that with that anticipatory running style that he has, right? But he's also, for a 6'1", 225-pound back, Jayden Baugh is fleet-footed. He's a smooth mover who it's not gonna look like Bijan. It's not gonna look like CMC. It will not look like Jahmyr Gibbs either. But he can chain together cuts and offer a more evasive running style. So it's not just power, downhill power. He can string together lateral cuts and just drive that foot and cut across the grain and get past and read the leverage of the defender upfield and cut across them, right? He does a really good job of that. And again, the contact balance, the power that's there, where there's a play, I think it was against Mississippi State, where the D tackle shot the gap, got right into the backfield. And if I'm not mistaken, he either ran into him and bounced off, or Jayden Baugh stiff-armed him. Either way, that D tackle landed on the ground, and Jayden Baugh was still moving forward to try and get out of the backfield, right? So he doesn't panic. He shows more patience than panic when there is backfield penetration, when a D lineman shoots the gap, or a blitzing linebacker gets through the A gap, or whatever the case may be. He's still a patient runner, and he's not circling back and pirouetting and running backwards and losing yards. You don't see him do those things. He'll get what's there. But then at the same time, if you let him get past the line of scrimmage, he can get what's there and create more. But there's a run, I believe, against Georgia where he's running, I think it was zone, like split flow, wide zone to the left, if I remember correctly. And they closed that gap so quickly at Georgia. Georgia closed it. I'm pretty sure this was against Georgia. And he jump cut and sidestepped to go from the C gap to the opposite B gap, and then he got yards with no problem. So understanding how to create and get out of situations, I absolutely love that with him. Again, patient, great vision, great mental processing of blocks and leverage, and how quick he's able to process everything. He has the NFL size, weight, frame. He's going to check those physical boxes, but the actual game, right, the body type boxes, he's going to check those with no problem. But he also runs through the lanes with good quickness. Once he sees it opens up, he plants and he goes, right? Like he gets upfield, and he gets upfield in a quick manner. So being able to hit the lane quickly, being able to convert that quickness or that speed to power, run through defenders. And he's a guy that, man, again, only 220 carries. If you remember, Keiwan Lacy had 306. Okay, Keiwan Lacy had 306, but if you put them side to side, you're like, okay, who's in the NFL? If we were to give a 300 touch workload or 300 carry workload in the season in a run heavy offense, who would you prefer? I'm gonna tell you, to me, it's going to be Jayden Baugh. Physically, it's going to be Jayden Baugh because he is built for that type of punishing that punishing workload. We talked about with Keiwan Lacy. Fantastic player. I don't know if he's built for that workload. I think he's probably more built to be just a do-it-all type of guy. Like you get him in the passing game, things of that nature. I don't know if I want him handling 300 carries and running between the tackles a ton and things like that. Like where I look at Jayden Baugh, like, oh, I absolutely can run you right up the A gap, the B gap, power, split flow, zone. He runs different things, pin pull. All of that, like power concept, gap concepts, and zone concepts. He can flourish in those type of offenses. Then he gives you some reliability out of the backfield as a pass catcher as well. And I think there's more to grow with him. They expanded that role for him this past season in 2025. I want to see that go up. Give him 50 receptions out of the backfield, right? Give him 50 receptions. I think that he can absolutely help your offense to be a 3-down player in the NFL. And I'm telling you right now, I look at this young man and I see potential star in the NFL. That's how high I am on Jayden Baugh. I see potential star. Physicality, vision, mental processing, quickness, just evasiveness and fluidness and smoothness in terms of for a big back to be as smooth as he is at times. Like you don't see guys with that type of ability at his size and weight and frame. But guys, coming up next, I'm going to talk about the concerns, the things that, okay, I would like to see him improve on going into the college football season ahead of the 2027 NFL draft. That and more coming up next. The Locked On NFL Draft Podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, if you think you know who's hitting a home run today, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily Dingers. It's easy to play. Just make your free pick for who you think will hit a home run in their game. If you're right, you'll receive a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. Best of all, you can make a free pick every day throughout the MLB season. Daily Dingers is another fun way to stay engaged with every day's games, whether you're following your favorite team or keeping an eye on matchups across the league. Sometimes it's a hitter who's been on a hot streak, a favorable pitching matchup, or even a ballpark that tends to give up home runs. Those are always the first things I look at before making my Daily Dingers pick. So are you ready to play your game today? All you have to do is join all the action at FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a home run. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. Breaking out of concerns for Florida star running back, 6'1", 225-pounder, Jayden Baugh. We talked about it. I say he could be a reliable pass catcher. I will say this. I don't believe he's the most natural-handed pass catcher, but I do believe he can get better. I do believe that he can get better from a catch mechanics standpoint with more reps, right? It's just a simple fact of he didn't do it a lot his first year, right? He didn't do it a ton. When you go back to his first year, 2024, he had 7 targets for 4 receptions and 33 yards. In 2025, 40 targets, 33 receptions, 210 yards receiving. So again, it's just all about usage, right? That's really what it boils down to is usage. He had a drop. I believe it might have been against Georgia or Mississippi State. Either way, he had a drop in the flats where the catch mechanics, the hand mechanics just like weren't there. It was a wide open pass. The pass was, put where it needed to be, but he just dropped it. It was just a bad drop, right? Because I think he might have been like a screen and he had some blockers in front of him. I'm like, man, you get Jayden Baugh with some blockers at 6'1", 225 on the outside against some of these corners and everything, those nickels and outside corners. There's some business decisions being made, but he dropped the ball, and the hand mechanics. I think he catches the ball fine. I think it's good enough, but I think it could be. I absolutely think it could be better and everything. To me, he lacks that elite burst and acceleration as a runner. Like again, I talked about he gets through the whole slow to quick through. He's quick. I don't see dynamic, explosive, just like gear shifter through the line of scrimmage. So talking about he's more of even with his speed, I think he's got good top end speed because I believe, if I remember correctly here, he had like a long run, and I'm trying to remember if this was it against, I believe it was against Mississippi State. And in that game, he is super patient on that run, super patient on the run. And he took it the distance. Like, I mean, just got out of there, right? Long run. And what I loved about the run was how patient, how he set it up. But he showcased, hey, I have the speed to separate from these guys, right? And he got like he beat the angle, everything. But I would say that inside that 0 to 15 yard box, fast defenders can catch him before he gets up to top speed. And I think that's what's going to be something that can hold him back a little bit is against fast defenses in the NFL, those fast linebackers and stuff like that. If some guy's unblocked or fights through a block backside and works to him before he gets out of the blocks and really gets out of the gate he shifts that gear, he hits top end speed. Yeah, he can get caught. Now, and again, I'm not talking about for a 4-yard loss. I'm just like, instead of it being a 60-yard run, 60-yard just, takeoff, like he's gone, it's more of a 15-yard, which still is good. But we know in the NFL, if you're able to convert those long run opportunities or big play opportunities into big plays and that long touchdown, that goes a long way in the NFL simply because of the fact that, hey, once we get to the red zone, the NFL defenses, they tighten up. Those chin straps get a little tighter. Some guys put the mouthpiece in, and there's less space that they have, and it's just more physical, and it's harder to score inside the 15 and 10 yard line than it is to, hey, complete that 60-yard run and don't get caught for 20 instead of getting to the end zone. So that's something that was a big thing for me with him overall. Just a simple fact of like, I see a really good player, but that lack of elite burst and acceleration. I think the route tree, again, functional pass catcher. I think that the route tree is limited. Like, I want to see him, especially for one of the comps that I have. I want to see him like deploy him a little bit better, because man, like something. I would say route tree consistency more so, but I saw him run like a Texas route, an out route. I'm like, man, he's like, his hips are for 6'1", 225. Jayden Baugh's hips are not tight and tightly wound and stiff, and he can't, no. Like, he was able to sell that, because when you're running that Texas, that angle route, right? Just to kind of paint the visual, you tell the running backs to sell a flat route, like you go run into the flats, right? Sell that flat route, turn your shoulders, and then break and cut back inside. Because now you got that linebacker, if it's man coverage, that linebacker's running, and he wants to get and meet you to the spot. He want to beat you or meet you, right? It's either meet you or beat you to the spot. So if he can beat you to the spot, he thinks I can get a pick six. Or if he meets you at the spot, he can make a big hit, cause create a PBU, a drop pass, whatever, or just a tackle for minimal gain, or even for a loss. But when you sell that, now he's on his high horse getting out there to you, you break it back down and cut back across his face. Now he's lost for words and lost for momentum, because he's already going in one direction. Now you're wide open. Again, 6'1", 225, middle of the field is wide open. Now you got a safety telling him, hey, this guy is smooth. He's evasive, but if he squares you up, he's going to run right through you. He's got a mean stiff arm too. Like, he can do all of that. That's where I want to see him, just like the route tree just open up a little bit on just the way that they use him just this year, man, fully unleash the full skill set. Because I think that there's more of a route running ability in there. I'm not saying he's going to do with CMC, what we've seen from Jahmyr Gibbs. I think, back when I was at the Draft Network with Keith, we talked about this. I said Jahmyr Gibbs could play slot receiver. Him and Bijan can absolutely play slot receiver. I don't care. I truly believe that. CMC too. Like, which, I mean, heck, you go back to Stanford, CMC played receiver too. Like, it's like Christian McCaffrey, it's in the bloodline, right? So yeah, like his brother's a wide receiver, right? So I think his dad, Ed McCaffrey, was a wide receiver. It's in there. Like, he could absolutely do it full time if he wanted to. Same thing with Jahmyr, same thing with Bijan. I think these guys could absolutely play slot receiver and give nickel corners all types of issues. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that that's the height that I want Jayden Baugh to reach, but I definitely think he can be someone that's a problem out in space for linebackers. And he's got enough quickness, enough footwork, and again, change of direction ability in his big body and big frame to really cause chaos in that particular situation. So just for me overall, man, I want to see him get better when it pertains to just the catch mechanics, open up that route tree and show me what more you can do, because it allows me to flesh out that full profile of, okay, in the passing game, what do you bring and offer as a route runner? I want to see the full extent of that. And then I think pass pro awareness is something. It's not like I'm a little nitpicking with this one, but it's more so like when you send some simulated pressures and stuff, it's just finding the right guy, right? Or if you're doing a check and release, it's like, hey, check and chip. In my opinion, as a running back, don't just check and release, because there was a throw. I believe it was against Georgia or Mississippi State, either one. But it was a throw from DJ Lagway, who I'm going to break down later on this week. So DJ Lagway throws I think it was a curl route over a flat defender. So he had a sinking defender underneath from the nickel. And then he had, I think it was a safety blitz, and then safety came free. And I believe that Jayden Baugh was checking and releasing, and I think he released without, like, it's like walking past somebody, you're going through the same door, but like, the grocery store or Walmart or Target, wherever you shop, the door opens, you both walk through the same door, you just go in two opposite directions. You're leaving, they're coming in, right? Or they're leaving, you're coming in. And it was that type of situation where I felt like Jayden Baugh was like, chip that man. He's got a free run at your quarterback. Chip him, and don't allow him to throw off your quarterback's timing, accuracy, whatever. he didn't. And DJ Lagway had to get the ball underneath him and that sinking defender. And I'm like, yeah, Jayden, the sinking defender, I get. This guy, you got to hit. You got to hit him on the way out because you're not even getting the ball, brother. Hit him, rock him, knock him on his butt. And that right there will also set a tone for the defense to let that DC know, hey, my running back will blow up any of your blitzing defenders from the second and third level. If you want to get cute with your blitz packages, the moment he identifies it and sees it, and if he sees it, quickly, he's going to rock that guy. He's going to put him on his feet. He's going to decleat him because I told him to go ahead and do so. Hey, protect our quarterback. I think that's the pass pro awareness I want to see improve for him going into this next college football season for 2026, ahead of the 2027 NFL draft. But coming up next, guys, I'm going to break down and tell you my grade for him and talk about some comps. I got some fun ones that came to mind. So stay tuned. I got my grade and NFL comps for Jayden Baugh coming up next. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working toward the same goal, and that's true in sports just like it is in business. I mean, look at the Seattle Seahawks. They brought in Sam Darnold, and they played as a team. Offense, defense, special teams, and the coaching. Everyone had the same goal in mind, to win the Super Bowl, because great organizations win because operations matter. And that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen of the day. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in America. It's all because of you, our every Gators Jayden Baugh, 6'1", 225 pounds, 225 for the University of Florida, one of those Gators. What grade do I have for him? I gave Jayden Baugh a first-round grade. And Jayden Baugh, to me, I tweeted this out over the weekend. I think it was Saturday. Well, not because we're working on our top 25 over at Bleacher Report, so I'll break that down for you guys as well later on this week. And yeah. So I tweeted out Ahmad Hardy and Keiwan Lacy were my top two backs coming into this process, and those spots aren't safe anymore. And yeah, it's up for grabs. It's a free fall right now. It's a falls count anywhere. It's whatever. Like, Jayden Baugh has that chance to be, to me, I will drop my actual RB rankings. I don't want to tip that off before we do it, but he's got a chance to be RB1. He really does, because he's got the bigger frame. Neither of the two guys, in terms of Keiwan or Ahmad, run with the same ferocity, physicality, and power and size that he offers. But also, he gives you a mixture of elusiveness and evasiveness and everything that you don't expect from 6'1", 225. Then you look at, with Ahmad Hardy, I think he's a capable pass catcher. He's just not utilized. So I'm projecting, right? 30, I think he has like 30 career catches. That doesn't really move me at all. But watching, again, I just watched Jayden Baugh catch 33 receptions in one season, right? So I feel like there's more upside as a pass catcher and as a pass protector with Jayden Baugh. So I have him as a first round pick. I think he's a top 20. He's a top 25 grade for me. And I'm readjusting some things with our big board over at BR, which is a collaborative effort with all the scouts over there. But then we're going to drop our top 25, maybe top 32. But right before the season and everything here for the Locked On NFL Draft podcast. But I'll go even further when it pertains. Let's talk about the comps. There are some different comps that came to mind. But I'm gonna give you the high end. Let's go with the high end. My high end comp for him is Le'Veon Bell, 6'1", 230 pounds. Le'Veon Bell coming out of Michigan State. Remember, guys, for those who were old enough to see Lev Bell in college, He was a 230, 235 pound downhill bruiser. He was not the Lev Bell who was just like his, to me, it was like two different running backs. And he didn't catch the ball the way he did at with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL and at Michigan State, right? So it totally different styles of play, but the same player. He ran a 4.6 in the 40. I absolutely think that Jayden Baugh is going to run like sub 4.6, 4.5s at worst and everything. But that's my high end comp, like just like true ceiling comp. I could see him being another, I won't say reincarnation, but another version of Le'Veon Bell. And then the other one that came to mind for me as well was Arian Foster, 6'1", 226. Arian Foster was a 4.6 athlete. He's 4.68, almost 4.7 and everything. I definitely think he's faster than that in terms of Jayden Baugh. But yeah, I see a player with Jayden Baugh. I see a guy that could be a top tier running back in the NFL. Could be a 3-down running back in the NFL. A guy that once you get inside the 5, inside the 10, and inside the 5, he's a guy I want to hand it off 2-3 times. Like I know the analytic people, and you throw in these situations. Whatever. Let's tighten up his chin straps. Let's remember that this is a game of grown men, and let's put our weight down, our foot down, and let's let those 300-pound hog mollies up front, those 330s and 320. Yeah, let's let those boys be their best and move some folks off the line of scrimmage and let our 225-pound back run. And if he needs to be juggernaut and create a lane for himself, lower that head, lower that shoulder, and run through somebody's back and get into the end zone. That's what listen. No one go get me on the tangent about that stuff. But yes, I think Jayden Baugh, it has the potential to be a top 10 back in the NFL, top 15 at worst. I think he could be a top 10 back. Want to see him take that next step and just produce even more and really flesh out his profile. Hopefully Florida with the new, I think it was Sumrall, I think is the head coach at Florida now, if I remember correctly. I'm just looked that up. Head coach, I believe it is, hold on, let's see, John Sumrall. Yes. So I believe he came from Tulane, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he spent time at Tulane and Troy. So for John Sumrall, hey, unleash him completely, totally, all of that, because I think you have yourself a potential star top 10 back for the NFL. And he's already one of the best backs in college football, right? And this year, things to me are more up for grabs. There is no Jeremiah Love, who is the creme de la creme, belle of the ball. I know Ahmad Hardy, outstanding runner, but again, Jeremiah Love was explosive, dynamic, shifty, and he ran routes out of the backfield and gave you a true 3, and he was great in pass pro. So it's just like there's no, Jeremiah Love is up there in that tier of like Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, that type of just 3-down menace as a running back. Ashton Genty's a tier below that. And everybody else in this class is around that, in that tier, probably close to Ashton Genty or right below it. So with things being up for grabs, and there's no Jeremiah Love, right? There's Jeremiah Smith. There's no Jeremiah Love. I absolutely think that Jayden Baugh can usurp the guys that have the more hype. Because I promise you guys, go watch the film. This dude is good. He can get in and out of small creases. He gets skinny through those small lanes. He just needs a sliver of space at 225, and he can shapeshift, get through there and shapeshift again. Like, he is that good. I really, really love what Jayden Baugh brings to the table, and I promise you, you turn on the tape, you're going to love him too. But guys, that's the show. I explained my grade for Jayden Baugh, talked about the concerns, talked about the pros. As always, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Guys, I'm going to be breaking down, like I said, DJ Lagway this week. Me and Keith going to talk about CJ Carr. We also have some NFL like rookies and scouting, not scouting, but training camp reports. We're going to go through who's shining, who's a star, who's a stud, who's a dud. Maybe that might be the episode. We're going to talk about that later on this week as well. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.